everybody, this is Dr. Pete Lombardi with this week's Weekly Thought Flash. And I wanted to just start off by letting you know this weekend we're going to be in New York City. Chiropassion Consulting is putting on a life-changing event this Friday and Saturday, the 9th and 10th of September in New York City LaGuardia Airport. Absolutely going to be an amazing event. You want to get yourself and your team down there to New York City. If you haven't registered, do so right away. It's going to be an amazing event. But today I wanted to start off with something from the Green Books. And this is from Chiropractic Philosophy, Science, and Art. And this has to do with education versus innate. And the title of this one is Education a Handicap? Now I'm not going to read you the whole chapter about this, but just a couple sentences. Education does no harm, in capital letters, if where there is of it is natural and has true relation with innate. But when education becomes egotistical and paramount and displaces the correct values of innate, all else becomes uneducated, subconscious, non-conscious, and unconscious. Education then becomes an impenetrable wall innate does not and cannot break through. So what does that really mean? Does it mean that education is worthless? No, not at all. The first sentence says this: education does no harm if what there is of it is natural and has true relation with innate. So education that proves or is in harmony with the natural laws of the universe that we live in is the kind of education that chiropractors need to be reading, the kind of education that we need to be thinking about, discussing, having conversations about. The problem comes in when we have education that comes from the outside, which is not of true innate foundation. In other words, medicine itself is based upon some beliefs and some premises that aren't necessarily true. In other words, they're studying what? They're studying healthy people or sick people. They're studying diseases and sicknesses, and then we're looking for outside sources, or they're looking for outside sources to try to cure or fix the disease. But in reality, we know what? We know that the disease happens in a weakened host. So what do we want to do? We want to, as chiropractors, we want to study the healthy. We want to try to find ways to make the host more resilient or stronger. And the chiropractic adjustment is a very simple but yet very profound thing that we do that helps reconnect that internal knowledge of health and healing that we all have as human beings in this universe or in this cosmos that we live in. Okay? There's this organization to all of our matter that gives to it all its properties and actions. That intelligence that we all have is something that, as a chiropractor, that we work with. Whereas medicine discounts that and says, yeah, that's there, but we need to do these things because we found this based on this research and these studies that have been corruptly done by a pharmaceutical company, so to speak. And people fall into this because of how complicated it seems. We don't really all understand how it all works, but some really smart people have figured it all out. So everybody in our culture has bought into that because it's this mysterious thing. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz. Don't look behind the curtain because you might find out there's a man back there working the levers. Okay? So chiropractic doesn't think that we're better. We don't think that we know so much more. We just know this. We know that we live in this universe, that there's an intelligence that gives to all of the matter in this universe properties and actions, these rules and I guess guidelines that all this matter has to follow. And that energy is an intelligent energy, meaning it doesn't just randomly occur, that there's a balance to all of it. And when we deliver the chiropractic adjustment, the intent behind it, the intent isn't to cure or to heal or to fix something that's broken or something that we don't like. The intent is really to remove any obstruction, any interference that is going to disconnect the matter from the intelligence. Okay? That's chiropractic in its most simple, basic essence. But what happens to the chiropractor? What happens to us? Why can't we communicate that to the public and to the people? It's because our education, our experiences, the fact of being rejected many times, possibly in the past, of people that don't understand that because maybe they're hearing it for the first time. They don't take it all in, and they don't necessarily gravitate to it right away. We feel somehow that we're inadequate, and we shouldn't feel inadequate about that. We should actually be more excited to tell that story to people because so many people are hungry to hear it. Because you know as well as I do that when that person hears it at the right time, at the right moment, and it just clicks for them, how magical that experience becomes. And what do? They follow you, and they will listen to you, and they will obey the things that you want them to do as a practice member in your practice. And they're the most fun people to be around. Aren't they? Aren't they the best practice members, the ones that really understand it? And then you get to spend the rest of your life adjusting those people and removing that interference, allowing them to be the best expression of the innate intelligence within them. And that's a wonderful thing as a chiropractor. That's why I love what I do as a chiropractor. So join us. Please join us this weekend, Friday and Saturday, in New York City. It's going to be a life-changing, altering event, just like a specific scientific adjustment is life-changing and life-altering for that person receiving it, and also for you, the doctor, who delivers that special something with that adjustment. Looking forward to seeing you. Register now. We're going to have a rocking good time. You all take care, have a great week, and we'll see you in New York City.
My best friend gave me the best.